Hello everybody and welcome back again, 2013 season, and we're kicking it off with another edition of Inside the Headset. I'm with the head coach of the Riverdale Warriors, Ron Aydelott. Coach, we're about Friday. We'll go through a Jamboree scrimmage, and then next week, along about this time, you'll be getting ready for your first game. But where are the Riverdale Warriors? What kind of personality? Juniors, seniors? Let's just go over some numbers. Where are you?
We're still searching. I think we're finding a nucleus of kids that will come to work. We're just so young, and we're meandering through a lot of things. We've got to learn how to work, and we've got to learn, some basic fundamentals of football. Especially how to do things right, play after snap after snap after snap. And right now, we can do something right 3 times, and we can do the same thing wrong 3 times in a row. So consistency, is a big issue. Leadership is a big issue. Work ethic right now is a big issue for us.
Well, and it's not only, it's in every household. I mean, it's today's kid. Would you not agree?
Well, to some extent, but I think that's a cop-out.
Okay.
The last 4 years, the kids have been, great leaders, and sometimes you run across a class that's a little bit docile, and they just kind of want to watch everybody else do things. And we've yet to find that little group or cluster of people that are going to step up and say, "Come on, man, let's, we've got to step this thing up. We're just too laid back, And I hope that that's just a perception that I have. But what I'm seeing and grading out on film through scrimmages is pretty much what I'm seeing on the practice field, which is a lot of complacency.
You've got couple of new signal callers. You had a very seasoned one that ran the Riverdale Warriors over the years, and now you're searching for a new signal caller. How's that coming along in the process, and good signs or places for improvement? Well, we all need improvement, but I mean, you take it from there.
Well, first of all, that had been an issue here at Riverdale for pretty much at least 2 years, and we had a good battle 3 years ago. So. We've had a pretty good situation. It's obviously different this year. I come in after each work day or scrimmage and say, it's a different guy, So we're going to have to, obviously, we're right around the corner. We're going to have to somebody or somebody's.
Yeah.
And it may be that. I mean, it may be that we played multiple kids at that position. Until things improve to an extent where we feel good about it, there's no job closed at this point, and I think quarterback would be first and foremost there.
Line, how are you doing? Got good linemen returning as far as...
Well, we probably have more returners there than we do at any other spot, especially offensively. We've got 3 guys that played extensively there last year, and when they want to play, then they're pretty, they're very solid and very capable of doing what we do. I think the disappointment factor is, their amount of leadership, but it's sort of kind of out of their frame of their makeup to be, vocal leaders and grab people and say, let's go, we got to get this right. We see signs. I think we have some potential, but you and I both know that potential means that you've got a long ways to go and you haven't arrived.
You got the cake batter, you just got to put it together.
Yeah. So, I don't feel as bad about the offensive line as I possibly do at a few other spots. I think there's maybe even a little depth there, a couple of young kids that are coming along. The only thing is, I can sit here and base this off of improvement and, people we scrimmage. But everybody knows the district we play in and the opponents that we picked up on the side, because the ability of people to play and the people who have played it now, we don't have a break in our schedule. So it's, the coaching staff knows, and there's a cluster of kids there that know how tough everything's going to be. At some point, everybody's going to find that out.
Yeah.
And I'm afraid that if we don't find it out pretty quick, then we're not going to be real happy with the result.
And most teams, and there have been teams that at those times, like you say, if they find themselves in that position, it's kind of like a song. If you start off dragging, it'll drag all the way down.
And it's been like that. I mean, we don't have any tone setters. And we would like to find something. I just hope it ain't that we get woken up one day, because nobody's really bent us over their knee and spanked us yet, you know. But when that happens, hopefully that'll wake us up. But you know, we're going to do everything we can to hope that don't happen. That we wake up before we take that spanking, you know.
You'll play for an hour on Friday, and that'll be it. And then I'll see you next week. Kind of talk to the people, the parents and stuff. What, as far as when you look at a scrimmage and you talked a little bit about it, you as a coach and your coaching staff right now, what are you looking at? What do you, when you go into these scrimmages, kind of give us a flavor of what?
Well, you want to see effort, number one. You want to see, you know, effort, assignment. Do you play to the whistle? You know, do you finish runs? Do you finish blocks? Do you finish tackles? Do you align properly? You know, do you do the things you've been coached to do?
Just basics. We're just talking football basics.
And you want to get them on film, and you try to grade as many kids as you can, especially in areas where you don't feel good. And basically, we use them just like teachers do. You know, we grade them just like they do in a classroom. And, you know, you try to put the best people on the field. You know, and maybe if you're light in another spot and a couple of kids are heavy at that particular spot, then you may move one from that spot to that spot. And unfortunately, that's sort of kind of what we're in a rotation of right now, and it's not allowing us to set our lineup and be consistent. So part of that is that we're just not sure of some things right now. You know?
Well, I'll wrap it up. You are the second game, right, on Friday in the Jamboree?
I think we're the 7 o'clock game.
You're the 7 o'clock?
Yeah,
right.
We're the visiting team.
All right. That'll be over at Siegel High School, and you all come on out over to Siegel and watch all three of them, and we'll see you there.